With globalization at full throttle, we are constantly bombarded by the norms of other countries. And here in Australia, a lot of the things we believe about death and funerals come from American TV and movies. So let's cut through the crap and find out what is real for our country. Let's answer common death questions. Do I have to be embalmed? No. Okay, let's elaborate. Here in Australia, embalming a body is very uncommon. Indeed, the only times it is strictly enforced is when a body will be entombed above ground in a mausoleum, vault or crypt, or if the body is being repatriated overseas or interstate. Embalming as we know it today was invented in the USA during their Civil War and became a big money spinner for funeral homes there, which continues to this day. It never took off here, and unless you come across a really shitty funeral director, you won't be pressurised by the funeral home to have it done. Besides, it doesn't make a body any safer. Rather, it pumps them full of extreme chemicals, and the process really isn't pretty either. However, if there is going to be a severe delay between the death and the funeral of your loved one, and you want them to look presentable for a viewing, then you may wish to have them embalmed. Is an autopsy required after all deaths? Contrary to what you see on TV, not every death requires an autopsy. Can you imagine the state of the coroner's office if it was? We will be doing an extended video on this in the future, as there is just so much information involved on this topic. But in a nutshell, a coroner's autopsy is required when a person dies unexpectedly, or their death is suspicious, or an investigation needs to be conducted into the circumstances that led to their death. A family of the deceased can also request an autopsy be done. Do I need to buy an urn at the funeral home? Hell no. There is no legal, ethical or environmental reason you need to buy an urn from the funeral company. When your loved one's remains are returned to you, they will likely be in a plastic bag and then enclosed in a solid cardboard box. Now, if you have exciting plans for them, you can keep them in this original packaging until the plans are made. But if you would like to keep them in the urn on the mantle, I am here to open your eyes to the wonderful world of online funeral shopping. There are so many options out there, many of which can be customised. If Dad liked golf, you can put him in a golf bag urn. If Auntie liked the tropical vacations, you can put her in a pineapple urn. Also, and I speak from experience here, kitchen stores have many storage solutions that can be repurposed as urns. Just make sure they have a rubber seal and keep the air and moisture out. Otherwise, you may find down the track your loved one has turned into more of a solid lump than powder form. Do I need to buy a coffin or a casket from the funeral home? Hell no. But this one comes with a catch. Funeral homes make a considerable percentage of their profit from selling coffins and caskets, and they are allowed to refuse your business. Many will not refuse your business outright, however they will charge a substantial handling fee. If this is the case, check first to ensure that any fees charged by your funeral director don't outweigh the savings. However, if you found a funeral company happy for you to BYO, may I suggest Costco or Coffin World for all your casket needs. Links below. What is the difference between a coffin and a casket? The main difference between the two is the shape. A coffin is tapered to the body shape, and a casket is a conventional rectangular box. Other than that, usually coffins have completely removable lids, while caskets have hinged lids. There is often the connotation made in movies that coffins are creepier than the two because they are minimalistic and old school, while caskets are plush, lavish and expensive. For many, the idea of a coffin just screams death, while the idea of a casket enables them to think of death as just sleeping peacefully. They're in for a very rude awakening if their loved one ever has to be exhumed. Can I choose to die at home? Absolutely. You will likely encounter some resistance from some family members and some medical staff, but if you are terminally ill or elderly, there is no legal, ethical or environmental reason you can't choose to die at home instead of in a hospital. Being cared for in a familiar environment surrounded by people you know well often helps maintain your emotional well-being and allows you a sense of control over the last part of your life. And you won't be without medical support either, as most palliative care specialists are trained in home care. Are dead bodies dangerous? No, not usually. Unless they've died of Ebola, then we need fire. This is a myth that just refuses to die, and there are some medical staff and funeral staff out there that will often exclaim how dangerous all dead bodies are, and this is usually for their own gain in some way. Firstly, if a body is not being contagious in life, then it won't be contagious in death. Being on a plane or on public transport with other living people is more of a health risk, and we do that all the time. And most viruses and bacteria that cause disease can't survive more than a few hours in a dead body. There is also the misunderstanding that because a body smells when it decomposes, that it is dangerous, which is some real old school 1800s kind of thinking. We know better now. We have science. The microorganisms that are involved in decomposition are not the same kind that cause disease. Furthermore, you wouldn't go touching a live person's bodily fluids without wearing gloves, so don't go prodding a dead person with your dirty hands. So there you have it. Answers to 7 common questions about death in Australia. What other questions do you have? Tell us in the comments below. And I have a question for you. At what point does grave robbery turn into archaeology? Let me know your thoughts below. Thank you for tuning in to Taboo Education. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Now go talk death.